Shall I send narcissism information to the narcissist? This is a question which is quite common. You have worked out that you're dealing with a narcissist. It might be that you have utilized my narc detector to receive the objective expert analysis that confirms that's the case, or you've done your own work, utilizing my material to ascertain, yes, I'm pretty certain this person's a narcissist, and you may even have fine-tuned it down to the sub-school. The question then comes, should I let them know what they are? And of course, you may well be very tempted to tell this individual, I know what you are. I know that you're a narcissist. And of course, those of you that are listening who are empaths, your truth-seeker trait is being tickled by your addiction, corrupting it to cause you to want to share this new knowledge. It also will be affecting your narcissistic trait of pride. You're proud of yourself for having worked out what it is that you're dealing with, proud for having unlocked the code. And therefore, that pride is being corrupted by your emotional thinking to cause you to tell the narcissist that you know what they are, that you know now what you're dealing with. However, you're keeping a relatively level head on matters and think to yourself, if I tell them, they're bound not to accept it from me. He or she never accepts what I say. They're argumentative. They're always rejecting what I explain to them with regard to their own behaviour. And therefore I can see that if I confront them, no matter how pleasantly, no matter how constructively, and say to them, I know what you are, I know that you are a narcissist, then they are going to reject that assertion from me. Accordingly, you resist that temptation to go and see the narcissist and say, I know what you are. You resist the glee that you feel that you might experience for pointing it out to the narcissist. Whether your intentions are to annoy the narcissist, to have a degree of one-upmanship by saying, actually, I know what you are now, your magic over me isn't going to work any longer, or whether it's because, driven perhaps by the corruption of your empathic trait of the desire to heal and to fix, or compassion, that you are actually trying to point this out to help the narcissist understand who they are, with the misguided but well-intentioned desire to make them become somebody better, that they can change, that they can stop being what they are, that they can perhaps then realise, yes, you're right, I am, thank you, and that they correct their behaviours. But you resist this temptation, and instead you think that a more productive route would be to furnish some information to the narcissist, almost in a slightly subtle way of sliding a buck under their nose, or sending them some links to some videos so that they have a road to Damascus moment, this sudden realization, my God, this is who I am a narcissist, and that they correct their behaviours, that they come and demonstrate contrition for the way that they have treated you, that they then, fixed with this knowledge, realise that what they're doing is both wrong and something that they can now address as a consequence of being aware of it. It's understandable that where you're dealing with a lower or mid-range narcissist, you may well fall into the trap of thinking, if I can get them to understand what they are, that's the starting point. That's the launch pad for them then being able to alter their behaviours and change. You might consider playing my videos when the narcissist is around to get them to listen. You might send the links to them. You might sit there with a buck, seeing if they'll go, oh, what's that you're reading? What's this Sex and the Narcissist? That you leave it on the coffee table, expecting the narcissist to pick it up and flick through it to gain some insight into what he or she is. What you must understand is that furnishing the narcissist with such information is a pointless, futile, and ultimately detrimental act. As I have explained elsewhere, the lesser and mid-range narcissism is constructed so that they are completely blinded to what they are, and that cannot be penetrated. It is a little bit like you're trying to thrust the sword towards them, and they always manage to dodge it. The narcissism will not allow the knowledge or the information to land. Such is this self-defense mechanism that a narcissist can point out narcissistic behavior in somebody else and not recognize it in themselves. So, for instance, the narcissist and his wife have gone out for dinner with another couple, and in the car on the way back, or the taxi, the narcissist remarks to his wife and said, "Have you noticed how Philip's always putting his wife down, always making little snarky and snidey comments about her?" And the wife turns to her husband, eyes wide, and says, "You do that to me." His response? "No, I don't." He doesn't see it. Most manipulators don't know that they're being manipulative. And that particular type of narcissist, he's able to see poor behaviours in others and comment upon them, but he can't see that he does that himself. He'll either be completely blinded to it, or will say, "Well, I only do it when you step out of line," or "It's only happened once or twice and it was because I was tired." There's no accountability for the behaviour, no ownership. And therefore, pointing these things out to the narcissist means that the shield that the narcissism is will never allow the narcissist to see. And therefore, it's entirely futile. What about levelling up the narcissist? Are you arming the narcissist if you give the narcissist information? People often wonder, if narcissists come and read your books or they listen to your videos, are you going to level them up, increase their skill set? The answer is no. Quite simply, lesser and mid-range narcissists don't know what they are, so they don't read the material and think, "Oh, that's a good idea, I'll harness that and use it to be a better narcissist." Instead, they'll go, "Okay, I understand," because they think they are the victim, and they'll go, "Yes, that's happened to me. I was treated that way. Oh, I'm glad I now understand it." Greater narcissists, of course, wouldn't be accessing my material to begin with. They have no need. And so similarly, if you were to furnish a greater narcissist, extremely rare as they are, but if you happen to try and furnish them with this knowledge, this information, they would just look at it and be dismissive. They already know, but they're not going to admit it to you, because to do so would be a transference of power. The problem is, if you put the information in front of the narcissist, you're not going to make the narcissist more effective at what they do. It won't work like that. But what you will do is become hurt, disappointed, frustrated, and annoyed, because your attempts to get the narcissist to realize what they are by putting material in front of them which tells them that they are this thing in the expectation that they recognize it will fail. It's a little bit like the book that you put in front of them. The letters all become jumbled, so they are in effect gobbledygook. That when you play one of my videos, or heaven forbid somebody else's, not that you'd ever do that, of course, being a loyal listener, that the speech just becomes wah, 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 and unintelligible to the listener. The narcissist is protected from seeing what he or she is, where lesser or mid-range, and therefore putting that information in front of them has no effect other than them to be dismissive about it or say, "Why are you giving me this?" Certain mid-rangers might say, "Yes, I can see sometimes how you might think I behave like that, but I don't really," or "Once in a while I might do that, but it's because," and there will be the blame shifting and the lack of accountability. What you also run the risk of is that this information will be used against you, not by the narcissist to skill up, to become better, but to actually turn around and say, "This is describing you, not me. You're the one that behaves like this." And then you give the narcissist a word to use against you. This is why certain narcissists read about narcissism, don't realize it's themselves, and then go around accusing the true victim of being the narcissist. These are obviously many of the apparent experts that proliferate YouTube. that go around labelling other people as narcissists when they are actually the narcissists themselves, but they can't see it. They have happened upon material, learned from other people what narcissism is, regurgitate this information, and use it to label other people, invariably individuals who aren't narcissists, but appear that way because of the narcissist perspective. So the risk that you run is that if you put this information in front of a narcissist, all they'll do is ignore it at best. At worst, turn around and accuse you of these behaviours, labelling you as a narcissist, and perhaps using it against you in other arenas, perhaps with regard to the children, ongoing court proceedings. Furthermore, this will amount to a threat to the narcissist's control, because you are suggesting that the narcissist is something bad. And therefore, the narcissism will have to reject that control through one of the three assertions of control, which means, invariably, you'll suffer a malign manipulation for your troubles. So, ultimately, when asking the question, shall I send narcissism information to the narcissist? It's a great big, resounding no. Keep it for yourself. Build your logic defences and achieve freedom for you. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.